Now, the third commitment, I am extremely happy about. And we've been working on this for some time. I would like to bring to the stage the president of the Rockefeller Foundation, Judith Rodin, Alex Karp of Palantir, Martin Parker of Swiss Re, Cameron Sinclair of Architecture for Humanity, the mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu, and Robert Ivy of the American Institute of Architects. Every 5 days, 1 million people move from rural to urban areas. Cities around the world are struggling to confront the interrelated challenges of urbanization, globalization, and climate change. As natural and man-made shocks to continue to intensify in both size and frequency, they must build for resilience. The need to do that has never been more clear. But implementing effective resiliency strategies that enable people to survive, adapt, and thrive after disaster hits requires change on the individual, institutional, and national levels. This summer, the Rockefeller Foundation launched its 100 Resilient Cities Center Challenge, a $100 million effort to build urban resilience worldwide. Each of the winning cities will receive tools for mobilizing and accessing resources, the ability to share best practices through the 100 Resilient Cities Network, and support in creating a resilience plan and hiring a chief resilience officer. Through the challenge, the foundation will also create a platform for partners across sectors to advance their on-the-ground resilience efforts. The first partners to join the foundation are here. Swiss Re commits to providing city officials with access free of change to its CatNet software, which will assist them in evaluating and assessing risk exposures, with a focus on natural catastrophes and climate risk. Swiss Re will also help to develop and tailor risk transfer solutions to the cities to help them handle the financial shock of difficult events. Architecture for Humanity and the American Institute of Architects will support this 100 Resilient Cities Challenge through their own commitment called Resilience USA, Professional Partnerships for Our Future, a network of 5 regional resilience centers to train individual architects and offer financial assistance to implement resilient design projects. The World Bank will back the 100 selected cities by increasing their access to credit and supplying a comprehensive suite of planning and financial services. And building on their CGI commitment to deploy software in disaster-stricken communities, something that we in New York benefited richly from after Sandy. Palantir will distribute its data fusion software to the 100 chief resilience officers and other city officials, improving their ability to do strategic planning, assess risk, make capital investment decisions when preparing for and responding to and recovering from disasters. Palantir and the Rockefeller Foundation are also joining forces to support New Orleans, Louisiana, as the city works to implement its own new resilience plan. And finally, the Rockefeller and Palantir partnership will launch a pilot with the city of New Orleans, the first to have access to the newly created Resilience Dashboard, which includes data sets and indicators that can assist the city with its resilience planning. New Orleans commits in turn to working with us to define the dashboard so that it is most useful for all 100 resilient cities once they are selected. This is really exciting. And I want to thank Judith Rodin. Chelsea organized 1,000 of us who work for the Clinton Foundation to go spend a day in the Rockaways. And it's hard to keep 1,000 people busy for a whole day, especially if they only give you like a week's notice. And I met a young person who worked for Palantir who'd done up this whole software program that mapped what we needed to do in what order and how many people would be needed to do it to help quickly deal with the aftermath of the storm. Meanwhile, Judith Rodin and Rockefeller were doing all this work on how to keep this from happening in the first place, how to build structures or reinforce structures so that the damage would be far less. So they got together and came up with this gangbusters idea, which we obviously need our other partners to actually implement. And for New Orleans, this sort of builds on what was done in part by Bill McDonough and Brad Pitt in the lower Ninth Ward in rebuilding hundreds of houses that were both flood and hurricane resistant and more energy efficient and less expensive for people to live in and work from. So the potential of getting all these people together to have a terrific impact is enormous. And we thank the reinsurance partner we have because, you know, in case you, Swiss Re is, their American headquarters is not very far from our house in New York. And I have gotten an earful now for the better part of a decade about how if we're going to continue with the insurance structure we have, and reinsurance is going to continue to be a viable business, that we have to quit being in denial and start being in action about how to respond to the changes in the climate and the severe weather events and all the things that are occurring. So this is a really good day, and this has the potential to have a profound positive impact. So please give all of our commitment makers a big hand.